All right, today is Tuesday, March 28th, and I made, I lost $62, excuse me, $61.25. Over traded today. Today was kind of a tough day, price action wise. Didn't see any clean moves, hard to read, a lot of big wicks, a lot of fake outs, no continuation again. Just really, and I made what I thought was a good play and it ended up turning it around against me, but wanted to go over everything, all of my trades today in my journal, and then also kind of break it down on the chart right here as well. So my first trade was I didn't really think this one out. I had my levels set right here on the chart at the 4004. I had my value area low, and I was longing into this position. And if you look closely, this purple line is VWAP, and I was longing into my value area low, which I knew was going to play some level of resistance, and VWAP at the same time, thinking I was going to make a play. What was interesting about this play was I actually also made a mistake. So I went three MES contracts long, and then I sold one off of at the top, made $12 at the top. I thought maybe we were going to break through VWAP, so that's why I held two more. I just wanted to take a little bit off the top. And then on my next one, instead of selling two contracts, I accidentally sold three. So that brought me to a net short one. And I didn't realize that I was short another one. So I did take a loss. So I accidentally sold three, bringing me to negative one position. And I didn't realize I was negative. And it took me, almost 2 minutes to realize that I even had a position open. And I ended up losing an additional $6. So that was kind of a silly mistake that I made. Didn't realize I accidentally sold three when I only had two contracts available. So I've been focusing a little bit more on trying to let my runners go. So instead of like selling my entire position when I hit a target, I may sell one contract and let two runners go just to kind of hold profit. So that was just a mistake, I guess, trying to figure out how to sell. If I'm three long and I sell one off, one off, one off, I'm just trying to be better about that. So just a small mistake. Next trade, made some money back. I did the same thing. So I went three contracts long, and then I sold at three different times. So this was around 10 o'clock. And let's see. So went long right here at this candle. I saw this candle dip down, probably getting some stops here. And then I got in as it was breaking, just before it was breaking VWAP. Ended up it was a decent trade. I took three off here at the top. Ended up making $45. Just a quick scalp, kind of piecing it out. I guess in hindsight, I could have just taken all three off at the top. But it is what it is, and I was happy with that. The next trade, not so much. Zoom out here. This one happened after this drop that we're looking at here. And so I actually went long on this position. So if you're looking at the chart, you're thinking maybe long was probably a good ways to go. My mistake here was, my mistake here was not putting my stop loss in the right position. And I ended up putting the stop loss instead of getting long right here, and instead of putting it at the previous low, I ended up I was being a little too strict with my stop loss, and I'm not sure why. I think it was right after, on the tail end of my previous loss. So I'm thinking maybe I should keep my stop a little tighter. Maybe I should, not be so risky with my stop losses. And I ended up getting stopped out on this wick right here. And that was kind of disappointing because I was thinking, we were bottoming out here. We had no, we were at this bottom VWAP, and I thought, maybe we had bottomed out for the day because after this big move, it just kind of stopped and people started buying. So kind of disappointed because it did end up moving up afterwards, but that also kind of threw me off as well. And so that kind of leads me into the next trade, which was on this next pullback right here. And this was my biggest loss of the day, and the one that I think that hurt the most, obviously financially. So what happened here, and the reason I let this go, number one, I actually bumped up to five contracts short here. And my thought process was where we had these two big wicks, and I was going to assume yesterday's low of day, so I was going to play like pretty hard resistance, especially after this huge displacement here. This was a matter of what, 4 minutes, and just a massive amount of selling. So what I'm thinking here, that massive selling, we're going to have a little bit of a pullback, and then we're going to continue. And my assumption was that, the people that were making this displacement happen, the larger traders and banks and institutions, were eventually just going to continue us down. So I set I went short on this one right here. And I set my stop loss above VWAP here. So I want to say it was right at like 401. Yeah, right at, let's see exactly. It was like 402.25. And I figured that would give me enough wiggle room for it to test VWAP and then come back. And I was just wrong. I just completely misread this whole thing. I put my mistake here as I went against the trend, on the counter trend on my journal. I just wasn't reading it right. I thought we were going to keep going down because of this hard selling, and that just wasn't the case. And that was a big loss today. So, you live and you learn. Made a little bit of money right back on the next trade. This one was pretty disappointing, actually. This trade, if we keep going here, where did I get long? So I got long right here on this large candle. And I think about 39.85 I got long. And what I'm looking at here is we hit 39.80 down here. We had what looked to be a pretty clean reversal off of this demand zone here. A couple of attempts to get short, and then ended up not. So on the third one, I decided it'd be a good one to go long. Turned out to be a pretty good play. Went 3 contracts long. And at one point, I was up here on this trade, and I was up like $150, $160. And I probably should have taken profits here at this level of resistance. And, hindsight's 2020, but that I basically could have gotten out, could have covered all of my losses for the day, and then give me a little bit of extra money on top. But I was pretty bullish in general. And even during this pullback here, I was pretty bullish. I was bullish until we got to these 2 candlesticks right here. I was still holding on. It still looked pretty good. It kind of looked like a pennant was forming, like a bull pennant. And I thought we were going to keep moving up. It was these last couple of ones that really threw me off. And I ended up selling my position here. It looked as if they just grabbed some liquidity here and then ended up just taking off the rest of the day. This was pretty upsetting because my original stop loss was at 39.83, and had I just held, again, hindsight's 2020, had I just held, we could have gone back up to 4,000 and then pushed 4,004. But the devil's in the details, I guess. And again, maybe a stop loss issue, because after my original stop loss, I ended up moving it up to at least secure break even. And then I gave myself a little extra cushion for commissions and all that stuff. So I started to get a little bit scared coming down in here, and I thought we were just going to keep reversing. And it is what it is. I just didn't stick to my plan. Could have just held it on up. So you live and you learn. And 2 more trades that I took. This trade was kind of just a quick scalp at the end of the day here. This was classic overtrading. I did make some money back, which is great. Took a little bit off the top, and I scalped just these last two candles, got a quick 22 bucks, and then got out before it pulled back. And then on the very last trade, I tried to do the same thing, but I got caught at the at the very end of the move and at the very end of the day. So if you look here, this is the very end of the day. This is as high as it went, and then it just consolidated afterwards. And I was longing into the top of this candle right here. And as soon as I realized there wasn't going to be any continuation, I moved my stop loss to break even, and I was done for the day. Break even on the last trade, and that's it. It's kind of tough. A couple of stop loss issues, a couple of bad decisions. Overall, kind of a difficult day to trade, so I'm not too terribly upset. And the overall loss is not the end of the world. I think, I believe I'm down. I think I'm down $100 on my account. So again, not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, but I'm also starting to consider mixing in a little bit of paper trading again. So maybe I work on evaluating and critiquing and developing my strategy and my plans moving forward, and I can do that via paper trading and also still be able to work on my evaluation accounts, because I'm not really losing my money on my evaluation accounts, just the monthly fee while I'm figuring this out, which is $36, so I can't complain too bad. Otherwise, that's really all I have for today, and see you next time. Peace.